Thank you so much for speaking. I really enjoyed it. Oh, it's in the chat with Derek.
Yeah.
The soup that I like is called jurek, and it's like, so imagine you have like a sourdough bread bowl, right? And then you have like a sourdough soup, and it's got a boiled egg in it. It's got kielbasa in it. It's got potatoes, boiled potatoes in it, and like little ground up pieces of sauce. It is amazing.
Sounds so good.
So
It's like really like gloomy
I
right
love
now. Like soup sounds good.
Yeah. It's hot here, but I would still eat soup if it was that soup. I have some questions for you guys, for those who are here. What's been about being quarantined for you?
Like, just how's it been, or like kind of, I don't know.
The toughest part, like what's been the hardest for you?
Probably just kind of like the day-to-day, trying to figure out what's going to like take up my kind of attention for the day almost, because I feel like there's just so much to do, but also like nothing that like you enjoy, because you feel like you've done it all like 50,000 times over. So like everything is just much more of like a struggle. Like, I want to read, or I want to draw, I want to paint, but it's like I've done that like every single day. I want something new, but I don't know. I think just kind of the day-to-day.
I 100% agree with you. I feel like I don't enjoy my normal like escapes as much anymore.
Yeah, completely.
What about you, Linda?
Let's see. I think like I'm just like such a like social person that like obviously now like things are opening, but like we should still stay like at home, which like I'm still doing. But like I just like love seeing people and like not being able to see like any of my friends or like do any like other activities that I would do. It's just like so like sad. So I have to like think of like things to do like at home, so like I can like, you know, keep my mind going. But yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Mackenzie, it's on you.
Okay, so I'm muted now. Well, both my parents worked sort of full time before the quarantine, and I was already home alone a lot. So going to school was like seeing people like for the whole week. That was like it. And so my parents still have like, they still go to work, and my sister goes with my mom. So I'm home alone a lot more now, and I never see people. So it's like when I do, it's like, wow, people.
Hey, good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. I'm at home for the first time for this amount of time, for the first time since I was where I left for college, like senior year. I haven't been home this long. So, and I'm 28, so that's a hell of a long time. It is very difficult to give up that freedom of being on your own and the freedom of like having stuff to do and being busy, because I love to be busy all the time. So being stuck at home, I've had to feel like, okay, first off, I should probably talk to my parents. I probably should enjoy this time that, you know, that I've been graced with, that to spend it with my family and get to know them a little bit better, and to talk about stuff we don't normally talk about, and, you know, to actually like involve ourselves a little bit more deeply than we normally do. So that's what I've been trying to do, but I feel you there. I actually enjoyed being alone, and not being alone has been really hard. All right, Annika.
At first, so like two of my sisters are in college, and so they both came home in the beginning of quarantine, and that was fun. But then like we had a wedding, so we had like 10 people in our house, and it was like really hectic. So I missed my alone time. Like at first I was like bored out of my mind. I was like, I need to see people, because I'm also really social. Like I live off of my friends and stuff like that. And sports and stuff, like my track season got canceled, which was really sad. So that was probably the hardest, just dealing with all the hecticness of
People
being
running.
at home, the whole fam.
Yeah, for sure. Who did I miss? Maya, do you have audio still?
Is it working?
It's working.
Yes, it worked. Okay. How exciting. Okay, I don't think it was like that hard not being with my friends because I was kind of used to it because I was gone for like 2 months at the beginning of the year, so I didn't see my friends. It's really I like hanging with my family. Like my mom's like one of my best friends, so I didn't have a problem staying with her. I think my issue was with my sister.
What?
She is hard to deal with. She's very hard to deal with. But we just don't chat that I don't know, we avoid each other. But I think I've been trying to find a hobby, and I realized I don't have a hobby. Like, what do you do besides sports and school and be with your friends? I don't crochet. I don't like knit. Like I know how to sew, and I can crochet, and I can knit, so I can do a little of everything. But it's not like a hobby.
Right.
So it's a little stressful because I feel like I need to do something with my time.
Honestly.
I'm trying. So
Haven't we all picked up some random weird thing and we're like, why am I cross stitching right now?
I tried sewing and I broke my mom's sewing machine twice. I broke the needle in half twice.
I know, but weirdly, my sister's name is Maya, and we definitely we love each other. We all have problems when we live in the same house. I don't know why.
My sister, she doesn't like me. She's like very vocal about how much she doesn't like me. Like last night, I was laughing at her, so she came and whacked me in the back of the head 3 times, and then my mom put me in a timeout for the first time since I was 3. It was so hectic, but it's okay. It's kind of funny.
Did I get everybody? I can't remember. Yes.
Ayla and Elise.
Oh yeah.
Ayla.
Oh, I talked at the very beginning, but I can tell more if you need to fill the time.
You're good.
Okay, what about you, Elise?
Yeah, I feel Maya. Oh my god, I have a brother, an older brother.
Mhm.
He's at home. Yeah, he games a lot. Talking with friends
Okay.
from high school. It keeps me up all night. The whole house.
What games does he play? I bet you know it by heart now.
Oh, I don't know. He does D&D, like
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah. So, yeah.
Siblings are tough right now. We definitely need that space for sure. Does anybody have any more volleyball related questions?
Yeah, I have one. Okay, so usually like before a game, like I get kind of like anxious, like I just have like anxiety. So like I don't know like if you do, but like do you know like any like ways you can like cope with like anxiety before a game?
Yeah, that's a big one. So, let's see. I don't like to think of it as anxiety because I'm a weird person and those like words like trigger stuff, even though that's what it is. I like to tell myself I'm excited. I like to say, okay, I'm excited for this game. I'm a little nervous, and nerves are good because nerves are going to jumpstart my adrenaline, which is going to make me jump higher and be faster. So I'm like, okay, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. And this is like my secret when I'm about to play a big game that I'm kind of really extra nervous for. I like to highlights from like my favorite games to see how much of a BA I am, because that gets me pumped up and I'm like, you are the shiz. And then I can go out there with total confidence. So maybe if you have like a picture of yourself where you just had like an amazing block or a kill, or for you it's dig, right? You're a libero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have like a video of you making an amazing play or picture of that, and you look at that before and you remind yourself you're awesome, and you tell yourself, okay, nerves are good, nerves are normal, they're going to jumpstart me. Hopefully that will help.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Oh, here's something that also I learned that's actually from a sports psychologist. So I had a sports psychologist when I was in college who was an awesome guy. He helped me with the technique. When you're playing in a game and you make a mistake, and that mistake builds on another mistake and another mistake and another mistake, it's really hard to dig yourself out of the hole, especially if your coach doesn't take you out of the game, if you got to play through it. And so the first thing I would do every time I came into the gym that I was going to play in, I would find exit sign, because there's always an exit sign in every gym that you play in. So I would find the exit sign. Okay, so say it was in that corner, and I would know where it is. So when I'm playing a mistake and I started to get in that hole, I would look at the sign and I'd be like, all right, that's your reset button. Reset. I would look at it, I would just stare at it and be like, clear that away. It's done. And I would come back into the game and I would be reset. And it took some practice. It didn't start right away, but I started doing it in practice. When I was having bad practices, I would use that as my reset button, and it started to become a habit to the point where I was like, okay, I got this. And it was a great technique.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Since you've played all over the place, like what, and we were talking about, we've talked about mental health, we're talking about resetting, because nerves get to everybody at some point in some way. What were some of the bigger moments for you, and how did it differ going from high school to college to pro? Because the demands for you as a pro player are different than as a college player, than as a high school player, even club. They're all so different in what people expect. So what would you kind of say as a general for each level?
Yeah. I will say that in high school, I had terrible coping mechanisms for anxiety and for nervousness. I was really shy in high school. And so I never felt like I could talk to people about being nervous, or I never felt like I could express those feelings. So it just sat inside in me, and I would just be super, super nervous before the games. So I think the big thing you need to realize is that you will play so many games in your life. Many. A lot of the times you will forget the bad games. You will forget them. You will only remember the good games. So you have to realize, like, after a big loss, or if you're nervous and you make a mistake, everybody makes mistakes. The best players make mistakes. Literally, Olympians make mistakes. And you know what they do? They brush that off and they're like, okay, that was nothing. Next ball. So if I had that knowledge when I was in high school, that one, I realized one bad game is not going to kill me. And two, even the best players make mistakes. I would have been able to relax a little bit more and not hold all of that inside, which is what caused me to play bad in the first place. So that level of nervousness or anxiety, if you plan on playing at higher levels, you need to learn how to conquer that first, because it only gets higher stakes. My internet is not great. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, there's no interruption.
Okay. Cool. So high school is one level. Go to college. If you play D1, you will be playing in front of massive amount of people. And having a lot of people watching you is going to make you feel a certain type of way. So I think a big deal for me was preparing myself, like knowing what I was going to walk into. So, for example, when Penn State plays Illinois, they have a massive student section at Illinois. They have a massive student section, and they will chant the rudest things to you. They used to chant at me, "Eat a sandwich." They used to chant that at me, and like, just crazy stuff, y'all. Oh my gosh, I swear to you, it like rings in my head. Oh, they would say my name over and over, like Deja, Deja. Crazy, guys. I would hear it in my dreams. Okay. So that anxiety, oh man, you will miss your serve undoubtedly. So I would train for that. So I would have my manager, or assistant, not assistant, what do we call those? Team managers? Yeah, the team manager. I'd have him stand behind me the week we were going to play in Illinois while I was in practice about to serve, and have him say that in my ear. Deja, Deja, before I was going to serve, because I needed to prepare myself for that level of anxiety. So it's going to come. You just have your ways to cope with it. So you have your exit strategy. You got your exit sign. You hype yourself up before the game. If they all get plays, you're fine, girl. And you've already mentally prepared for this. You know that you can do it. So those kinds of things help you deal with the mass amount of stress that comes from having a lot of people watch you and from higher stakes. When you get into the pro league, I'll tell you, it's not just a win or lose, it's money and being fired. And there are a lot of things on the line. So it becomes a different beast. And I mean, I've gotten death threats before, and I've gotten obviously racist messages sent to me, and crazy fans who, love you one day and hate you the next day because you had a bad game. So those are things that you really have to know yourself. Once again, comes down to knowing yourself and not interacting with the haters because it's probably going to happen, and there's going to be a lot of stress on you from those people. But if you don't interact with them and you don't care about them and you don't show them any attention, you can still stay focused on your job, and you can still use those same mechanisms that I talked about earlier to help you prepare for those kinds of games.
Oh.
I hope that was enough. There's a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah.
I have a fun question.
Sure, let's go.
How many volleyballs have you had?
Volleyball like I owned?
Yeah, to buy. How many have you had to buy?
My dad probably bought my first volleyball. And I think, once again, I started late. So I started at 14. So he probably bought me that one. And then I think we had to buy like 1 or 2 balls for club to like bring for the club. But I never paid for them. I have never purchased a volleyball with my own money. You can believe that. That would be one of the perks. The perks of being pro. Any other cool questions? Volleyball questions? Any questions about traveling? Because I've gone quite a few places.
What's your favorite place that you've ever been to when you've traveled?
My
Or like
favorite
a few.
Well, one that I really want to go back to, and I didn't get a whole bunch of time to go to, we were in Shanghai to play in the Club World Championships, which is like a lot of really good players. And I got the opportunity between our flights to stop in Shanghai for a day, it was like 12 hours. It was amazing. The craziest stuff on the streets that they're selling for food. Just in general, the amount of people, like going into the subway, it was a ton of people. Obviously now it's like, probably don't want to travel to China at the moment. Before it was great. So I would love to go back there. Other than that, I think my favorite place, and that was for volleyball, my favorite place to just go and to be, I would say I loved Greece. I think Greece is a fantastic place if you want to go and just enjoy nature and good food and watch a beautiful sunset.
Cool. That sounds so fun. Like I want to like travel like almost like everywhere. Like like where I want to travel is like Jamaica. That's like my like one goal to travel, but like Shanghai and Greece, like that's awesome.
Yeah, and volleyball, man, volleyball will get you to a lot of those places for free if you want to pursue it. So
yeah, totally.
Anyone else? All right, so last question that I'll put in, and then if no one has any questions after that, I think we can wrap it up. But since you have been very successful at several different levels, looking back, what are some of the things starting at 14 that would have helped you get better? For me, for example, reaching out to clubs and stuff and figuring out programs, sooner so I'd be in better situations was one thing, but like, what are some of the things that you learned about yourself or volleyball in general that would have helped you a lot sooner?
So I was very late to the game as far as training wise, like just fundamentals. So I had to catch up really fast with that. I think taking advantage of individual lessons. I know it's not cheap. Individual lessons are not, it's a luxury that a lot of people don't have access to that. It helped me improve a lot faster than I was able to just training and practice. The biggest skill to being coachable. So I think I was lucky because I had that already. I didn't have to learn that. But if you are coachable, that means that you are willing to try new things. You're adjusting very quickly. You're learning really fast. And that makes you an asset. So even if your skills aren't up to par at the moment, but you're coachable, a coach will see that and will be like, all right, do something with her. I can do something with her. I know she'll get better. And that has been my number one go-to thing since I started playing. And even now, if I'm willing to listen to a coach who wants to change everything about the way I play, okay, I'll try it. And so that's something that I think everybody needs to have. So private or getting lessons, if you can get lessons individually to really rein in on those things you need to work on, being coachable. Really, I think being an outstanding teammate. I know that that's not necessarily a volleyball skill, but coaches are watching you when you're off the court. They're seeing how you treat your mom. They're seeing how you treat your teammates. They're seeing all that stuff. They're seeing if you're like throwing water bottles. Hey, mom, take this for me. They see that. And they base a lot of their recruiting stuff on what kind of person you are and how good of a teammate that you're going to be. So being a considerate teammate and being one of those people that is on and off the court is a huge, huge thing that I think you should take advantage of. So yeah, definitely those are the top three.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It's been so nice talking with you guys. And I hope that you guys know that if you have any questions about anything, really, I know that you're just about to get back into playing a little bit. If you think of anything that you now, feel free to message me on Instagram or send your questions to Derek and he'll get them to me. But yeah, I want to be an open source for people who have questions about volleyball or life or pro. And, I hope that I get to talk to you guys another time sometime.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I guess we'll wrap it up. So everyone say goodbye and then definitely appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so glad I got to talk.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.